Oh shit! You done broke it
Already.
Over
here breaking
Are you the reverse live of the group?
Man,
That fool just handles. He just gets the
Probably.
right when we go on. He just starts fucking grabbing the mic.
I
and
definitely
shit.
am.
Yeah,
Shit,
no, yeah,
probably.
he likes to hold on to it like he's on stage, kind of.
Hey, yo,
I
yo.
said
A little bit.
Yo, make sure your levels are.
Yeah,
all
no, I
good.
did this time. The gain's up this time. Bing, bang,
Fucking
boom.
boom.
Murderverse Radio. You raggedy fucking bitch.
What else?
Right when you thought fucking the MCU had the most
Yep.
ambitious crossover ever. we fucking right up your fucking ass.
You bitch.
I mean, obviously, if you watch us, you probably watch this gentleman right here. But who is you? If the people
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
yo, what's up? It's your boy Dirtbag Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking we're coming through, fucking doing the thing.
Yeah.
Shit, how we feeling tonight, gentlemen?
I'm excited about this fucking lasagna that's in the oven. I can smell it. It smells good. And
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dinner is a big part of this podcast as far as like getting guests to come through, because it's like, oh man, I don't know. I might have some shit to do on a Saturday night. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna make lasagna. I'm like,
Exactly.
all right, man, I'll be there. Just shoot me.
See, I don't tell people.
Those are adults and they want homemade meals. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
For real.
I don't let people in on that either. Like,
fuck,
you
I
caught
just
you
blew
caught
the
in on
shit.
that right off the bat, because usually I do. I mean, for the most part, like if it's just the three of us, like I'll be like, no, you scamps, go fucking.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Go forage for berries, you fucks.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a rumor.
Nah.
It's a rumor because
a caveman
I
shit.
can't remember who else told me, but somebody else was like, "Oh, it's Lucho." He was like, "Oh, they feed you and they got fucking alcohol," and I got hella drunk. And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna get drunk, but
Yeah.
I'll go eat the food for sure."
Yeah.
I gotta drive. So.
Murderverse
Yeah.
is not just a podcast. It's an experience, you
It's
bitch.
an
It's a
experience,
culinary
you
experience.
bitch. It's
Shut
just
up, bitch, I care about you.
Exactly. It's just yeah, exactly. Fucking dude, I'm just coming back though. I'm a little bit fried because I had a fucking long ass fucking day.
Yeah.
Coming back from a wedding right now in Santa Cruz.
You didn't drink at the wedding because it was in Santa Cruz.
Allegedly.
Ooh,
He can either
my
confirm or
G
deny
threw
that.
this hand up.
Allegedly.
As an adult, he had 2 beers as an adult.
Yeah,
based on
I
his
responsibly.
He drank
responsibly.
Yeah.
It's not even that good.
But,
of a dancer. It's a phenomenal.
Either way, like the fucking ride back from Santa Cruz is like the fucking snake run from Dragon Ball Z and
Right.
shit.
Yep,
Like
yep.
Wow.
shit's wild.
go through that
This
all
shit's
the time.
wild.
Wow.
But it was a pretty good fucking wedding. But that's beside the point.
Well, what happened?
It was
to
weird
you
as fuck though.
while you were at the wedding.
So
though?
the guy that was getting married is actually the guy. So this is weird because it's like full circle battle rap shit right here. This is the first guy that ever showed me a battle in like the written acapella format.
Oh, no shit.
And it was Mark Griss versus fucking Blizzard.
Oh wow.
So
Is
I
that
mean,
teacher
the blizzard
versus-
is
Is
coming.
that what they call that one?
yeah, but and like he really liked it because he's a teacher and whoop de whoop and all that. But I was just like more in like, well, I didn't realize
You were
people,
like, whoa, do people do rap battles like this?
Like,
Is
as
it
far
not
as-
just
as far
is
as
it
the
not teachers and
leagues-
students all the time? Or
yeah,
what? Do regular
exactly,
people do
exactly.
rap battles?
Because then like
Are they all British?
That
What's
just
up?
well, see, that was what it was. Like I just only found out about Don't Flop first, but then I seen fucking.
So
Grind time.
I just went from because I just at first would just go from the highest viewed battles because I figured okay, highest views, whoop de whoop.
Yeah.
Then it must be good. So it was the first guy that ever showed me rap battles, and I thought I wouldn't know anybody when I came into this place, but apparently this dude has been like, because the place is just full of his students or old students and like his family members. I guess he's been showing them all my fucking rap battles and
Oh
shit.
no, they're all Rhine,
Exactly.
aka Rocksteady.
Exactly.
Oh fuck the rock.
Rocksteady.
I thought I was just
Yeah.
gonna
It's
come
different.
through on some James Bond shit real fast, like
Oh, you
This
couldn't
fool
Irish
is
goodbye
still
nobody.
Rocksteady in my phone, by the way.
Oh, that's terrible.
Fire, forever staying Rocksteady in my
Damn.
phone. Also,
Embrace it.
a side note: MC Dammit is DJ Mayonnaise in my phone.
That's
Damn.
fire too.
It's because one time we were in LA, and Caustic was with this chick, and she was like, "Who is it? What's your name?" And I was like, "I'm Dan." And then, my buddy's like, "Oh, I'm whatever." And then fucking Jordan's like, "I'm MC Dammit," and she's like, "DJ Mayonnaise?" We fell out. We fell out, and there's forever. And I don't know if that was like the first time I kicked it with him, but DJ Mayonnaise in my
That's
phone.
great. 'Cause-
I be forgetting sometimes too. Like
You're
I was like
"Who the
looking.
fuck
I was
is
like,
this?"
Ryan, where's Ryan's number? I was rock steady.
Damn.
I can't wait to talk to Damon about that the next time I'm trying.
Oh,
to,
DJ Mayonnaise.
and,
Yeah.
the next time we're trying to get him on the show, and
Yeah.
he flex and says that he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
then
love you, damn it, but I went to Tourette's
DJ
just to meet
Mayonnaise.
you there, and you weren't there.
I went to
That's
Tourette's
awesome.
just to meet you. I've been
Awesome.
writing these letters. Fucking
Must not have got
damn
him.
it.
Nah,
MC
I
Dan
still had
would
a
be
fun time
moving
there,
a
though.
lot around for a guy to be like that out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Like he's mad ambular. Like he just be like, I've seen him. I'll go to Tourette's. He's like jumping around, doing crazy shit, dressed like a fucking little Cupid with little
Yeah,
panties on.
that's
and
what he
shit.
does.
He
And he's
said
jumping up. He's
ambular.
running around. He's doing all sorts of shit. Motherfucker ain't lost a pound the whole time I known him.
That's because he's already in shape.
Yeah, he's like
that's him in
he's
shape.
in that shape.
That's him
Fucking
in
harsh.
shape.
Saying that shit.
That's him in shape. Like you don't know. Like he like, however he looks like.
I don't know that
he's got his cardio up. Like
I don't know that
already.
I've ever even seen him eat food or anything like that. Honestly.
I've ate a falafel, well, not like together, like on some Lady in the Tramp shit, but obviously, like we went and got falafels, and I had
Okay.
one and he had one, so I've seen him eat.
So this
yeah.
fool will go get falafels
I can confirm that
with
he
you,
eats.
but he won't come and eat this fine home cooked meal and get on a podcast.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was during the
promote
battle
himself
event.
and promote
yeah.
himself and get out
Damn.
here and work and promote himself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Shame
I
on
guess
you.
I
Shame
just-
on
I-
you,
I do
DJ
mean-
Mayonnaise.
DJ Mayonnaise, aka DJ Mayonnaise.
I don't know shit though. The fucking cloud's coming up. It's more so lately. Like we actually got folks that want to come through.
Sure.
We're just kind of
Ooh, that
fucking
actually
mostly
wanna
me
come
on
through.
some
Homie,
lazy
I
shit.
just said
not
dinner
fucking,
right now. Fools
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
spreading
I was gonna
this
say, I
rumor.
guess we should say that. I guess
Fools
we
are
should say
spreading
that.
this rumor.
Damn.
Adults like meals. Expect more guests.
Damn. Yeah.
That's a real
Yeah,
bar.
the thing
I mean,
was-
Cody was like, no. And then I was like, there's lasagna. And he was like, he was so on the fence. And this one had his vibe. This one was about to spend 3 hours in the car for lasagna right now. So, like, I'm telling you, like, you're going to pull some guests with food.
Wow.
What a
Honored.
pleasant thing to be an adult and just like roll up on like a meal.
Oh, fuck. It's so nice.
I made this or I made this for you, and like, cause sometimes it's weird and you're like, but then when it's fire though, it's just like that's crazy. Bro.
It
I don't
means
know.
a lot
It's
to
crazy.
me, honestly, because I'm the guy who cooks in my house, which is trash. Because I'm not a good fucking cook. I heat up food. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
I
mad.
feel like I'm the same way though.
Usually people who cook like have a lot of pride. You're like, I'm a good cook, or like these other people.
Hey,
are trash.
I've
like,
seen too many people be good cooks in front of my face. Like motherfuckers make soup. I'm like, damn, you didn't pull that out of a can. Like I didn't even know you made. I didn't know fools made
crazy,
soup.
man.
Fools be making soups and sauces. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like I'll put the sauce on the shit and marinate it and whatever and heat it to the proper degree. Like I can make a steak and it'll be pink in the middle and fucking butt. Homie, I can't. I'm not making the seasoning I put on that
Yeah,
steak. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that's
exactly.
extra
Really?
shit. So for me, it's like there's levels to cooking shit,
Facts.
and I'm not gonna call myself like a chef when I'm just like glorified heating up food. But like, even as a kid, I was a latchkey kid, so I grew up on fucking TV dinners. I'd be craving like Hungry Men sometimes. Like I'll be like, oh man, I love a Salisbury steak right now. Like just because I grew up like eating that dumbass shit.
Yeah.
And then my mom and dad just both worked a lot, so like we not a lot of home cooked meals at home. And then my mother-in-law fucking cooks, and she's awesome. So like every year on my birthday, I kind of get whatever I want, and like once a month I can get like a good meal out of her, and it's pretty fire. But otherwise, like I'm doing all the cooking, or I'm fucking DoorDash is just fucking chipping away at my bank account, and that's like kind of I'd be DoorDashing like a absurd ass amount of
I haven't tried that yet, especially not here, because that'd be fucking
What?
just.
What
a
are you
pain.
human? What are you fucking? You took an Uber or what? What the fuck? Have you been in an elevator? I don't understand. Fools deliver food, homie. Whatever kind you want. Like it's not. You could get more than pizza and Chinese food, is what I'm telling you, Ryan. It's
yeah,
crazy.
It's
Jesus.
it's pretty crazy. Bro.
Yeah, that's crazy because out of all of us, he is the cook.
Yeah.
That's why he don't be knowing shit about.
Yeah,
DoorDash.
I usually like to cook for myself. Like, I don't really like, I'm not like on some super healthy shit, but I try not to like eat out a lot. Like,
You're not
kind of
fat.
special.
You know what I mean? So you're clearly not like just making puddings in here.
You're
and
definitely
shit.
on some more healthy shit than we are. That's for sure.
I just try to
There
stay
it
away
is.
from sugar, but that's about it. I mean, I drink beer a lot though. But that's
Tantrum's
about
in
it.
shape just because that fool be at the bus stop every morning, just doing all this specials and shit.
Hey man, you gotta stay limber, bro. Like you gotta,
Bruh, and
like
then-
that's
Are
why
you
motherfuckers-
gonna be
that's why
90 years
motherfuckers-
old at
Yeah.
the bus stop, just fucking
First of
hitting
all,
all
how
those
dare you?
shit?
How dare you not know I am 90 years old? Like I went through the Great Depression and all that shit. I've been through that shit, bro. Like, come on, I lived through all that shit, man.
I be
Come on.
driving down fucking
Stop playing with me.
Main Street in Milpitas, and fucking there's this 90-year-old dude that's out there every morning, bro, just fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you never bothered to
that's
wave.
Tantrum.
You never bothered to wave or honk or anything.
I ain't
man.
trying
Like,
to
he
bother
seen-
this
He
motherfucker.
see me out there. You see me out, and you never honked or said what's up or whatever, man. I be seeing you drive by like, yo, Dan. But then like I didn't wave, I didn't
can't
wave
tell if
fast
you're
enough.
waving.
I didn't wave fast enough, so like he didn't catch me waving. So I'm like, fuck, man.
Tantrum out there practicing
So I'm
his
like,
Hadokens and
for the
shit,
300th time, I missed him again.
I trip off that shit, like the quality of old people. Like I feel like is just decreasing rapidly because the quality of people is decreasing
fucking-
rapidly.
What do you mean?
And I mean just like, okay,
I know we know.
you know
what
what's
he means.
funny is that the person who really like enlightened me to this subject is like 22, 23 years old. Fucking one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. This kid Liam, the Irish Rasta. Is what
Oh
we call him.
yeah.
Kid is young, 22, 23 years old. He's got like 4 different passports, traveled all around the world, spent a couple years just traveling all around the world. But he told me, I was like, what are you doing now? He's like, I'm going to go home and learn from my dad. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He was like, well, my dad can do everything. He like lives on this little farm in Ireland. He fought in Vietnam. If he's got a plumbing issue, he can fix it. If he's got an electrical issue, he can fix it. Mechanical thing, to an extent, right? And if he needs help, he calls out for help, and people are there to help him because he helps people when they need help. You know what I mean? But he was like, it got me thinking about the fact that like I don't know how to do anything. Like if anything breaks around me, then it's just call the guy to fix it. You know what I mean? And he's like, my dad's not going to be around forever, so I'm going to go home and learn from him, like all these things that I won't be able to learn in a book or learn from watching a video on YouTube, you know, as well. And just soak up that like old people knowledge that I just don't like. And then I'm thinking about myself. It's like, I don't know how to do anything, dude, like of value. Like I could do a lot. I could create a lot of like media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's even what I went to school for. But I don't have any. Like I can grow weed, which is pretty tight. I can grow weed.
If you could grow weed, then you could grow a garden.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I could also like grow weed and trade weed for food because people. always want weed.
Yeah.
But like that's
well,
like.
I was saying you could also grow food yourself.
You can also
since
grow
know how to-
food and
since you
trade
know how
food
to-
for food.
Yeah.
But I can grow weed still.
Yeah. That usually works better
Fuck
too.
it, why not both?
Yeah.
Point being, specialize is what I'm saying. No, but
Specialize.
I just mean that like skills like that, like people like my grandpa, for instance, is another person who just knows how to do a lot of shit. I'd be asking him because he's fucking got Parkinson's and he's 82 or something like that. I'm like, do you need me to help you with anything? He looks at me like I'm a fucking, what? What are you going to help me with? You know what I mean? I'm like, physically, like if you got to carry a fucking rock, grandpa, fuck. Because like he's so fucking smart. And he's like not only like, and he like cataloged every experience in his life. He's got like checklist for like, if I go camping, I do this. If I go this, if there's a fire, if there's an earthquake, he's like, he's got his whole like life cataloged, and he's been retired for something like 30 years. So he's had so much time to just focus on being a good human being, you know, and like honing his knowledge. But then he's like, body don't fucking work anymore, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I almost wanted to do the same thing as like learn a bunch from him. Well, my grandpa's a fucking jerk. He ain't gonna teach me shit. He's the man. I fucking love dude, but he's just like he's one of those dudes. I used to fall I'd fall and like hurt myself, and he'd be like, "Did you learn anything?" Like that's like he's like that grandpa for sure.
That's kind of dope in the long run, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely learned a lot from dude. Grandma, I've learned the fucking most from out of anybody in my life, but. Like that, I'm just saying, like those people, that quality of people, I don't think is going to continue to exist in the future. Like we are the old people that are going to be populating the future, and I don't know how to do shit.
Yeah.
What do y'all know? Do you know how to like do plumbing and electrical and like things like that. It's like if shit goes wrong in your house, how often do you call somebody to fix it versus like I can do this myself? You know what I mean? There's such a limited ass amount of things that I can do myself, and I don't know. That shit trips me out. That makes me like wonder about people as a whole, because it's like the world has only functioned to this point because we've had people that are that smart, and we're rapidly approaching an age where we have like a bunch of highly specialized people that only know how to do very specific things.
Well, that's because of technology, right? Because
100%.
because people have invented things to make doing things easier. Like the very things that we used to have to do manually, like we could do like with machines and shit like that or whatever. And like, I mean, like you said, there's levels to this shit. And like, if you think our generation is bad, like, have you seen the video where it's like a bunch of teenagers, like all it can't be more than like 16 or 17 or something like that. Like that, they're all gathered up, and one of them was like in the middle, everybody watching him, and they were using a can opener, and like they were like somehow like figuring out, and then they actually use a can opener to actually open the can, like finally figuring it out, and then the rest of everybody else watching, they just started clapping. It was like there was like some big ass accomplishment.
Was that real?
Big ass
achievement.
Probably
Though, actually.
No.
Who
Man,
knows?
like
Probably is,
shit
man.
like
Like it probably. Man.
And it's crazy.
It's like if you had to get applause for being able to use a can opener, then we were fucked basically.
I mean, the internet is filled with videos where it's like,
Yeah.
how old were you when you learned how to use this item?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Today years
And
old.
it's like, 100% of the time I was today years old. Also, 100% of the time, the guy who designed that thing meant for it to be used the fucking way you're using it right now.
Right.
Like when I was in Japan, I just was watching people use things correctly and being like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know the hole in the top of the soda can was to hold the straw.
Yeah.
You just flip it around and put a fucking straw in it and holds the straw up fucking perfectly. I was like, why is there? I thought it was fucking. That's how you.
Why does that make so much sense?
It makes hella sense. It's just one of those things.
You know which one I seen recently? You know how every time you order a pizza, right, and then there's like a small table in the middle, like that's supposed to make sure the box doesn't get like flattened onto the pizza.
Yeah.
Or like the topping doesn't end up on the top of the box or
And
whatever.
we'd just be thinking there's a fucking little table in
Yeah, we're just like, what the fuck is this
Oh,
for?
it's
Let's
a plastic
take it
table
out
for
and
my
shit.
toys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
fucking ridiculous, bro.
And you
People
fucking
are dumb as
ridiculous.
fuck.
See, that's just one of those other things. Like, why are there so many things where it's just like we all did it, but it's just like we had no, like, in those days we had no way of
Mandela
like
effects,
expressing, you know what I
This was
mean? Like,
Mandela.
but you could say some shit like that in a meme, and we're like, oh yeah, I thought the same shit, but it was just like, well, why? Like why were we all on that same wavelength? Like,
Well,
why,
what you were saying,
why do we
too.
all fucking think Marilyn Manson sucked his own dick or whatever?
Yeah. Like these rumors that are like perpetuated throughout like generations or whatever. What you were saying too, you were like 17-year-olds. Like, is that okay? So that's not our. I'm just like, I'm grouping people in like categories of years, right? It's like I'm 36 years old, but I'm also what do they call fucking dumbass kids now?
Millennials?
Millennial. I'm a millennial. Like, I'm legit a millennial. I'm the
What do they call
actual
dumbass
end.
kids now?
I'm the
Millennials.
end of the millennial spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by definition, if you look up all the things that define a millennial, it's like you grew up with the internet, social media, like all these specific like things that like, oh yeah, I was the first one using all of those things.
Well, you know what? Like, I think more so like the mid or early to mid 80s kids, like we're more so not so much like the hardcore definition of millennials, because like we've also been around when internet wasn't around.
Yes.
You know
No,
what I'm
but you
saying?
know what
Like-
I think is even more a factor in that is outside play. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
basically
true.
there was a bunch of highly publicized kidnappings in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Polyclass being one of the ones in California, Sacramento. So what happened was you had parents wholesale decide that kids weren't going to be allowed to play outside anymore. And the experiences that you have playing outside shape you as a fucking person.
Right.
How you deal with the world, how you interact with people.
And that
how
stand by me type of shit.
I mean, just, 100%. And like, I was a kid who was able to go out and take the light rail to 10 at night. You know, if I was with my brother, I could be out fucking all super late, and he'd be 16 and I'd be 12, and it's cool because I was with my brother. Just like 5 years later, nobody, it's curfews and kids aren't allowed to go outside anymore, and just the rules have changed about how parents let their kids play, and like even trick-or-treating. Like fucking, they follow their kids in cars and shit. Like we used to go to full other neighborhoods. We would take the bus to where rich people live to get full candy bars and shit like that. Like, and we'd come home at 11 o'clock at night on a school night. You know what I mean? Because it was fucking Halloween, and that's what you did. So once they took that shit away wholesale, and we're still millennials. We're still dealing within the same group of kids. But then you have like this half of us that's like much less accustomed to dealing with, real life situations, or at least deals with them later, therefore deals with them differently, and oftentimes not the right way. Like it's the you have a sheltered kid who doesn't do drugs until college, but then they just fucking go nuts and fly off the rails, versus like the kid who tried drugs when he was 12 and then learned how, this is moderation, this is how you fucking do this shit.
Or he had by the time he was like 16, he had already ruined his fucking life and his family's life.
No, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, and that's the road that you walk when you're gonna fuck with drugs. Everybody's gonna fuck with drugs to a fucking degree. It's like, is it? There's certainly an argument to be said that it's better to do it later in your life than before your life, but your brain don't even fucking fully develop till you're 25. So anytime before that, you're doing the kind of damage.
And even that's debatable.
Probably.
And even then, I can find an article online to prove that it's actually improving my brain. So who cares?
There's a bunch of you 30, 40-year-old motherfucking morons out there that are fucking dumb fucks too. So I don't know. I think the verdict is. I think jury is out on that one. I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, I just think that the quality of people is decreasing because
people are trash.
Well, no.
Quality is out of style, man.
Insane.
It has everything to do with the internet, and and not in the way you think. It's basically, we're creating a society of incredibly specialized individuals. So instead of, we are tearing down the Industrial Revolution, because like we grew up in this world where you have a boss and you go to a place and you work. We all work towards one. Everybody in this building works towards one common goal or whatever. Like that shit is getting stripped away. The largest hotel company in the world doesn't own a hotel. The largest transport company doesn't own a fucking car. You know what I mean? Like all these things are now outsourced individually. So like I was watching something, I think it was on Joe Rogan, where a guy was explaining how basically in the future people are just going to be all independent contractors operating off of apps on their phone, and not in the way you think. Not like we're all not going to be Uber drivers, or we're all not going to be whatever, like tech people that come and fix your computer or whatever, but highly specialized people. Even like you're an engineer, you're going to get, instead of having a boss where you go to an office, you're going to get hired off an app on your phone where someone's looking for you specifically based on your rating of other people that have hired you in the past, and then you go there to do that job. That's going to be the same for a plumber. It's going to be the same for someone who fixes car windows and a mechanic or whatever. Instead of being like all conglomerated, if you have that independent skill, people will be able to find you, access you based on their location and your rating, and then you'll come and do the fucking job.
That's what I noticed is like there's a lot of freelancing nowadays where it's like you could just go online and look for like a freelance, a freelance fucking accountant job, or like bookkeeping, or even like even shit that's like simple, like data entry.
Yes.
Or like a real popular one is
simple, but like you said, not like. It's still specialized to an extent. It still required some kind of education or whatever. And that shit's going to just expand on what you can Like we were talking about DoorDash. It's like what you can order more than just fucking Chinese food and pizza. It's like you can order everything now. It's going to be the same for jobs. You're going to be able to order all these like range of fucking services on your phone from different or whatever device from different fucking people, and and those people aren't going to be working for a boss. They're going to be independent, working for themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say shit. Maybe we should, cause fucking.
No, that's not like it's not what I'm saying. This isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's
You're just saying what it is.
It is kind of a bad thing in the sense that highly specialized people can't do individual things, and then let's say that system which hires us shuts down. Mm-hmm. Well, you have a bunch of much less capable people running around the world freaking out. Versus, like, I mean, how do you think modern people would handle, like, a world war? Where it's like, oh, we all need to combine our resources. Like, fools are going to have to, like, work extra hours to make things for, like, this one, like, individual effort. It's like, people are going to go fuck
They couldn't even get people to fucking get on board when we were in a drought to, like, make sure they didn't water their lawns and shit.
I'm saying. So, but, if you look back in history during World War I and World War II, like, people were sacrificing their time, efforts, money, lives for this individual effort. You could say a lot of that was based on a lack of information. Like, they didn't have the information.
Yeah, because it was propaganda.
And then the more information that increased in the world, people are like, fuck that. I'm not fighting your fucking war. Mm-hmm. But what you could also look at that and say is that, like, oh, well, people aren't going to work together in that way ever again. You know what I mean? And, like, only kind of work that's ever going to be done in that way is going to be autonomous and done by fucking machines. Yeah. So, like, if, a fucking comet hits or some kind of global catastrophe puts us in a position where we all need to pool our resources and rely on our individual skills to survive, you're going to have a bunch of motherfuckers who don't have a whole lot of individual skills or the ability to connect with each other. So unlike Liam's dad, who lives in this little town in Ireland, and he can go and, like, if his car breaks down and he can't fix it, he knows a dude who can because he fixed that dude's fucking plumbing or that dude's lights or something. Like, how am I going to get a hold of you when I need your help and you need my help? And we're all only connected through these fucking apps and shit like that. It's the natural progression of things. It's obviously going to lead to a simpler way of executing our jobs and people being more individual and reaping more benefits from their work. But in the case of catastrophe, it's going to lead to a society filled with fucking inept people. And that's dangerous and frightening, considering that certain things like, like an inevitable earthquake, or like the fact that comets are like just streaming past us. We have no way of knowing.
Or the comeback of dinosaurs.
Fucking A, who nay?
You fucking scientists are out there trying to bring them back.
There's just
I don't fucking get it, man. Like, you've seen enough Jurassic Park
never
movies.
Seen Jurassic Park.
You've seen enough Jurassic Park movies to know this is a fucking horrible fucking idea, and yet you really want to have a fucking pterodactyl come here and start snatching us up, like fucking feeding us to their young.
I already hate regular ass birds, dog. Like, regular birds, you're just like stare at a regular ass bird, like that's a fucking dinosaur.
Bro, regular ass birds are fucking predators themselves, man. Have you seen
that
video?
All birds can go fuck themselves.
Have you seen that video where, like, this big ass hawk or eagle fucking, like, is big enough to fucking there's like a sheep or something, or a goat on like a tip of a hill. The eagle fucking comes, like, swoops up, grabs a goat, like they're at the top of the cliff, and then fucking drops him. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck did that goat ever do to you, bro? That's fucking that's some
dinner?
fucked up shit. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Lightweight using tools too. It's pretty fucking ingenious. That's why that movie Birds is so frightening. But honestly, like, you could look at that with almost any group of animals that aren't, like, on the endangered species list, that, like, if they wholesale decided, like, fuck people, then it would just be the end of the world. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised the kangaroos ain't fucking took out the Australians yet.
House cats wholesale decided human beings need to die, it would be a fucking problem. Like, it would be, if you think it was like, oh, fuck up a house cat. Well, you fuck up 20, homie, because there's 20 outside right now.
Hell no.
That actually happened to my mom, too. She was, like, feeding one, and, like, she got, like, jumped by, like, 10 of them, and, like, all clawed them fuck up and shit. Like, it makes me hate cats.
You remember the episode, right, on Love, Sex, and Robots?
Yes.
Or the cats.
Oh, the cats took over the world. They gave them opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to do. You want to hear something fucking terrifying? Went down in San Jose.
Besides that. Besides
cats with thumbs.
With thumbs.
Fucking terrifying.
Okay, so are you guys are familiar with the Jungle in San Jose, which was like the largest homeless encampment in America for a while?
Heard of it, I haven't seen it.
So it doesn't exist anymore. It was under a bridge near a park called Happy Hollow, which is like a fucking kind of like amusement park. They have a little zoo thing there, and basically it's like this large space of land that's like under bridges and between freeways. That's like is like a couple 4, 5 maybe square miles, and at some place within there, like under bridges, this homeless community like established itself and grew and grew and grew. Became the largest homeless encampment in America. Over 1,000 people living in one fucking place. It became a huge health hazard. They broke the shit up, and now there's homeless people all over on the street, just like spread out. There's certainly still a jungle. It's just much smaller, and there's different camps in different areas that are kind of like isolated. But the large repercussion, or the thing that I'm talking about, I mean the large repercussion is homeless people everywhere. But one of the sadder repercussions of breaking up the jungle was a lot of these dogs that were the homeless people's pets just became wild dogs, and they were running around in this stretch of land, and there's this like pack of 15 dogs. They're all the way from like a Chihuahua to like a Rottweiler, all sorts of different kind of dogs that are running around in this pack in fucking this like 4 or 5 square mile stretch in San Jose. These dogs broke into Happy Hollow, dug under the fucking fence, or jumped over the fence, and killed a horse.
Damn.
And the pack of wild dogs killing this horse. All the other horses are like, what the fuck? Because horses aren't like dogs. They're not going to like pack up and attack and help the other horse. They're just like, oh, that horse is getting attacked. Go over here. And so the Happy Hollow people are like, fuck, what do we do? They put up a fucking fence that goes up over so that they can't hop the fence. Dogs come back in a couple weeks, dig under the fence, kill another fucking horse. So then they've had to build the cage like to protect the horses from wild dogs. So
instead of just doing something about the wild dogs,
what do you do? I mean, they certainly tried to hunt the wild dogs. They've been trying to hunt the wild dogs. They're running around like 4 or 5 square miles of freeway. Or like, whose job is like there's not like, as an animal control person, like there isn't like this like wild dude who goes out and like hunts dogs and the fucking, you're like a lady who catches cats with a net. Like, so when the dogs killed the horse, they killed the horse and then they ran away. And they're gone.
California has a bunch of bullshit ass laws on the way you can kill animals anyway.
I'm sure
like, you got to get Craven the Hunter on the job.
Pretty
man.
much.
Like,
hey, I'm telling you, there's like that one psycho fucking like, dude who's like, hey, call me in, I come and I kill the dogs. It's like, fucking, they flew me out to San Jose and I hunted the most wild pack of dogs.
That's what I'm saying though. I'm surprised the kangaroos ain't took over the Aussies yet, bro.
But see, that's the
thing. There's so
is,
many of those fucking things, and they kick so goddamn hard.
and they got hands too.
They got hands.
I think it's because
super hands.
Well, it's like animals like kangaroos have naturally developed to their environment and figured out a way to survive. Like, you have a pack of dogs. One of them's a fucking Chihuahua, who is probably the slickest fucking dog in the world. He's just like, come on, guys, follow me. I'll show you how we get in this motherfucker. Like, this dog, like, these dogs have just been like, we need to figure out a way to eat and survive because people aren't feeding us anymore. So what do we do? You know what I mean? And as a pack, they come up with a fucking solution. Like, that's... kangaroos don't have that problem. like other animals don't have that problem. It's like, oh, well, we were being hand fed forever, and now we're not. So we need to solve this fucking issue. But that shit, my buddy worked at Happy Hollow, and he told me that. And I was like, that is the most terrifying shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's wild. You just made 2 movies with the cats with thumbs and then this shit right here.
Oh man, dude, the dogs. The
For
guy
real,
who hunts
kinda
the
blew
dogs.
my mind on both of those.
The guy who hunts the dogs. I come and hunt the dogs. He's like from Australia, and he used to hunt fucking like dingoes that stole babies and shit.
That
No,
sounds like
he was
series.
like former SIS or something.
Yeah. So I promised my wife I'd never kill another man.
Sounds like a Venture Brothers character that never happened.
For sure, just
Damn.
some fucking Brock fucking Samson ass motherfucker coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Icarus. What are you saying, little man? You don't like the zip?
That's spot on though, man.
It's pretty fucking good, man.
That's like the only thing I can say, I guess.
Oh, I have a Australian sentence I could say, and it always sounds like I'm Australian. Yesterday I bought a loiter in Melbourne. Yeah, it's definitely like the more, if I'm like the closer to Australia I am, the more it
That's
sounds like I'm
pretty fucking
Australian.
good,
Bro,
bro.
in Australia, like Australians were like, it's pretty good. Like they like, yesterday, I bought a
Not
loiter.
a good try.
Yesterday, I
He's
bought a
too good.
loiter in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Okay, so it's yesterday, like yesterday.
He's
and then lighter, because you could say I bought and it's whatever. Yesterday, I bought a lot. No, you gotta say
loiter.
bought. You bought a loiter like loiter, and then Melbourne is the big one because they never say burn. They say Melbourne. Brisbane. It's just bin, like trash bin. So it's like, it's a beautiful place. It's nothing like a trash bin. But yeah, yesterday I bought a loiter in Melbourne. And I would do that shit in Australia to Australian people, and they're like, all right, cool.
Have you seen that meme of there's like a drill sergeant like getting all in the face of of some soldier, and like the meme like on the top is like, did you come here to die? And then the soldier answers, no, I came here yesterday. Something like that.
Did you come here to die? No, I came here yesterday. Oh, that's so good, man. Woo! As a comedian, I often wonder, like, how the fuck do you be funnier than memes? And I don't think you do.
real?
Like, you don't. It's so fucking hard, man. You're just constantly...
I love it when I'm at an open mic though, and I see somebody like using a fucking meme as like a joke.
Meme humor? I don't know. I honestly don't even know.
Well, no,
that
but like
it's-
shit that I've seen, and just like
I'm just trying-
That's cheating. For
Okay,
sure.
I'm trying.
Well, it's
to,
just like the same way how battle rappers be using jokes off Google and shit.
100%. I try to give, which is way more of a thing in the grind time days than now. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt in the sense that like, so many people are thinking of these memes that like, it's much easier to think of something on the lines of a meme being funny as far as like a sentence. Oh, like that's like this. Than like a joke. Like, cause I like when I write jokes, I never worry about like whether or not somebody wrote that joke, because in my head I'm like, nobody fucking like nobody's thinking like me. I'm fucking super weird. But when if I was like to make a meme, I'd have to honestly think like, has somebody done this already? Like, or you just have to be so fast on it. Like, oh, this thing just happened. I got to make this meme right now. Because, 100 people are thinking of the same thing I'm thinking of right now. Minimum. And then as time increases, more people are going to think of it. Yeah. And then more people are going to create it. So I think it's just a matter of, like, meme humor versus, like, actually, like, seeing a meme and being like, oh, fucking
one way you comedians have a leg up on memes is y'all can tell stories.
Yeah,
and that's how you that's how you that's how you get them.
Which is a double-edged sword, because like you're probably thinking in your head, you're like, oh, I prefer comedians that tell like stories and it's funny and shit like that. But what you're talking about is comedians that you know and care about, that you're either like going to see or like watching a Netflix special of, versus like some guy you're seeing in a series of 12 comedians that has 5 minutes to make you laugh. Because that guy can't waste a minute or even 30 seconds telling you some shit that doesn't lead to you laughing. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one of the more interesting aspects of comedy, is that it gets really different. It's almost like a different game at the end than it is at the beginning, as far as like what you're able to create as content. And that sounds restrictive, but what generally flies as far as like, as a comedian who's there to do 5 to 10 minutes, you need to be punchy and you need to be funny. And if you can find a way to do it where you're like creating an arching narrative, then that's great. But you're certainly taking a big risk if you're wasting a lot of time telling a story. Versus if you're someone like, Chris Rock, where it's like, I know you, I want to hear you tell me a story. And ideally, like, you're great, so we're gonna laugh like in the middle of the story. But at the end of the story is when we get this big fucking payoff. And it's at the lower end of the comic spectrum, like when you're starting out, it's a lot harder to have that time. You know what I'm saying?
And it's hilariously painful to like try to set up some shit super long and then it not pan out. And then
as painful as it is in a battle, right? I mean, like if you have
just
8
try to
bars,
move on
16.
and just fucking eat it and just fucking try to just get them going with something else really quick. Like, oh yeah, don't just forget about that. That didn't happen.
That's why you just have to, just like in a battle, you have to somehow make it work.
Take
you know
a
what I'm
risk.
saying?
Yeah.
Like you have. Like, and not even just in comedy, but I see it in battle rap all the time. People just are afraid of taking risks, man. Like, that's why battle rap has become, like, stale to me for a period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's boring to watch a lot of the shit now because motherfuckers don't want to take risks. They don't want to think outside the box. They just want to punch. A lot of motherfuckers are not even that good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think people just develop formulas that work, right?
Yeah.
And like
or rather they followed the formula they see working.
No,
Yeah.
Because
they didn't develop
they
it.
definitely didn't develop shit.
They didn't develop it.
You're just doing what's popular and it's obvious.
Yeah.
You know what
Because
I'm
I mean,
saying?
even in an open mic, in theory, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, what's really gonna make the people in that room pop? Like, what's
Yeah,
gonna
no.
get them?
Honestly, like I think the personality sells it, man. Like I think you can take the risk if you have the personality for it, and like, because when you do have the personality for it, and which and also means like you probably have been through some enough life experiences to where you could make something funny by telling a story, like so you can take that risk. Yeah, so I think that lends itself more to be able to have that advantage.
Personality and creativity definitely like go a long way to like taking risk. But there's definitely like a working formula, right? And you figure out what works for you, and then you try and expand.
I mean,
upon
obviously, you're not just gonna lead up everything to some random ass
Yeah.
something that you thought was funny, but nobody else will think it's
Yeah.
funny. You know what I mean? Like it has to fucking connect with the crowd. Obviously, even when like you're a battler that takes risks and like you have to angle your way to something, you have to drive in a certain point. Obviously, like you at the end it has to be fucking something worthwhile for you to fucking that haymaker has to fucking count. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like
You're right.
and like if you do it smart, even if you're an angle guy, you will still throw in like little punches here and there within the setups, within your 16, 30, 32 bar setup. Like you will throw in some punches in there as well as the
just like that
it will be
comedian
as
that's
well as making it
telling the
relevant.
story and making you laugh like throughout the process,
Yeah.
and then you get the big payoff at the end. It's like you know you got to find your way to do it versus like looking at like, and that's I guess that's the hardest part about comedy versus battle rap, and the most different aspect of that in the sense that like when battlers who are like on like the lower tiers watch the higher tier battlers operate, they want to do exactly what those dudes are doing, and that's how they're going to be successful. And because of that, you see a lot of like cookie cutter performances. In comedy, I don't want to do what the guy on the top is doing. I can't afford to do what Dave Chappelle is doing. I can't afford to do what these guys who have 30-minute specials are doing because I only have 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So that's what I like. The game changes so dramatically from that bottom stage to that big stage versus battle rap where you're like, it's not that big of a leap. Like ultimately I want to do what Lux is doing. But like for me, it's like I need to become a Dave Chappelle before I can do what Dave Chappelle is doing. And I think that's like the big difference between, or at least the way how I approach it, that's how I look at it. I'm like, okay, I need to develop who I am and how I approach this thing and then work within that realm versus like seeing the guys who are having success and being like, okay, how do I operate like those
I
guys?
think to expand off what you just said, like I think another part to that is in the battle rap sense, of course, yeah, like you could watch somebody and like, oh yeah, I need to do what that guy's doing, and you can like get to a point where like, yeah, now I'm doing something similar to what that guy's doing, but are you even doing it as good as he's doing it, and are you even putting your own twist on it? And so that's where the whole thing about personality and like life experiences also come in, because like you can try to take the Lux approach, but like what's setting your Lux approach apart from Lux's Lux approach? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just straight up copy exactly what he's doing, because Lux's approach by himself, like individually, that's a Lux approach. If you see it on paper, like that's not, you can't just compare that to like an Averb or a Big K. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a distinct approach. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're gonna try to really like carbon copy a distinct approach, then you'll just be like, people are just gonna call you, oh yeah, you're fucking Lux Light. You know
or
the
like, bad version of that.
Yeah,
shit.
you don't want.
Or
to be the
even
light
if
version
you're
of
like
that.
at your best, and it's still, if it's not matching up to that original version, it's always gonna look like a worse version of something.
Prime example, the same way how like a lot of motherfuckers are trying to punch these days. And like, you know, Big K is like the top puncher, and it's like you try to do what Big K does, but you're not even doing it as good as him. So like, you're just a generic puncher. You're not even like a Big K level of a puncher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all you are is you're just another guy's gonna be caught in the whole fucking wave of clones.
A more positive example is like is your generation of battle rappers who were like,
You mean our generation?
you, like specifically, because like there's just this little split between us, which has a name, and his name is Peter Morris. And basically, like the fact that Pete existed in the world meant that you guys had an extra tool. You were like, oh, multi fucking syllabic rhymes, this is great, we could use these. And we could only sparingly use them because we existed in the world before. Like it's like BP and AP or whatever. But what happened during the whole freestyle era, we all just called you guys the Saurus clones. And then as soon as acapella shit, you guys each, or the ones of you that were dope, have individually established, like, look, this is how I'm different from the Saurus. This is how Tantrum's different from the Saurus. This is how Cody's different from the Saurus. We're all like, hey, we're all going to use multis now, guys. It's a fucking thing. It works.
This was a huge thing, by the way.
No, it really was. It was a big-ass fucking thing.
Following it,
but, like, they certainly, like, did that. They, like, people like Tantrum, people like Reverse Live established why they were different from the Saurus, and then we could no longer use that as a weapon against them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the whole scene growing. You know what I mean? And I guess comedy's just, it's such an older fucking thing that, like, when you look at the span of it and like when things happen to change things, like certainly things are happening now in the way Netflix is giving people specials who never would have had specials before, and people are, the line and how long you have to wait to become on is certainly shorter. It used to be like very controlled, like you better have 10 years of experience before anyone's letting you get a fucking special on TV show. But now it's like if you can pull enough YouTube fucking followers, like someone will pay you. So it's definitely changed in that aspect. But like battling is like, when you look at like the years of like, okay, comedy is this thing and battle rap is this thing. So like the things happen in battle rap so fast, it seems like it's like, you know, over the last, we've been doing it for 10 years, and it seems like it's like, oh man, so much shit has changed. But if you took it at like a wider view of that, and like look at battle rap over 100 years, some of the things that we thought were so significant will probably not even be like a factor. You know what I mean?
The shit that we thought was groundbreaking back then is not going to be as groundbreaking now, obviously.
100%,
And just like the whole scope of things is a lot smaller, because it's like we had to actually examine closely like that certain era to distinguish that, yeah, you are from a different era than me, like slightly.
Very slightly.
But like if people,
once you took a wide approach, we're from the same fucking era.
if you were to ask people now, you're like, oh yeah, Dirtbag Dan,
Grind time rappers.
They're fucking
Grind time rappers.
They're from there.
But you literally, if you like, you pull in the microscope and you're like, oh, there is a separation between these two guys. You know what I mean? And then like that, it's like, it's just so small that you have to get a fucking microscope out to see the separation, versus like comedy is like a much wider thing, and it's just I think it'll, I don't know, like things like the like we're talking about, like just meme culture is changing the way that comedians approach comedy, and
very much
probably changing the way that audiences perceive it. You know what I mean? So like, naturally there's going to be a reaction to that on the end of the comedian.
I definitely try to go for way more of just a quick, just stack all the punchlines on top of each other, because people's attentions are just, they don't seem to be really there too much for the good, like really long setups, and I'm not really that great at that. because I'm usually kind of too dirty, and so it's like I'll like do this long setup and end it on some dirty shit and kind of just make people more uncomfortable than fucking laugh really.
We can play
to
the
where
game.
I think that's funny, but it's different.
Yeah, 100%. We can play the game where we like say that's harder or that's easier, but it's just different, right? Because it's like, I think it's a lot. I think if you talk to some of these dudes who are like more long form in their comedy, they would tell you how hard it is for them to write joke. Right. Just like I always, as a writing music, not battles specifically, it really took me a long time to write verses that weren't very specific. I don't know if that makes sense, but like for maybe 10 years, like if you asked me to be like, oh, we're gonna do this song, like, all right, what's the hook, what's the topic, essentially, right? And then like I would write a pretty specific verse to that topic, reference the hook, whatever. It took me 10 years of making music, hundreds of songs, before I could just be like, turn the beat on, I'm just gonna write whatever. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And like, I don't care, as long as it sounds good to me, then that's what's good. I don't care about the context. I don't care about the meaning. I don't care about the fucking what it means to somebody else. I don't care about the damage it might do to a human being.
It's almost like you're freestyling on paper.
Actually,
and it took so fucking long to. It's so funny because I can freestyle. The first thing I fucking learned how to do was freestyle. But it took me 10 years plus, maybe 15 years of writing music to get to a point where I could really freestyle a verse in the sense that I don't care about anything but the fact that it sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything but the fact that it sounds good.
Is there anything like specific you can like attribute that to at all?
Just that's what, like I said, time.
Just fucking
time. Putting it like years and years of writing music and being like
just
you just don't censor yourself because you get more comfortable with the way your voice sounds, with the way you feel about yourself. Like as a kid, I was very like, I can't say this.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
Yeah, remember.
What will people think?
Remember, I was saying, like Wiz had hit me up and he was asking me what I do about writer's block, and I was just talking about, it's like, I don't know, like just talk about yourself. Like if it comes from you and you give a shit about it, like you'll never really run out of shit to rap about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It does take time to get to that point though, for sure. You gotta like, especially with the freestyling and then writing raps, is total different part of your brain for sure.
Well, I guess like the battle shit wasn't ever really hard for me because it falls strongly under that line of being specific. But the battling has certainly shifted to a world where like being less specific has more value. So like my style is a bit dated as far as like battling is concerned. As in my head, like that's how it feels.
And it's risky to, like how you said with the comedy, it's risky in battle rap to do like the long setups. You know what I'm saying? Because like I tried to be a little more spread out in the Friday night fights, and like people like didn't really appreciate it. At least some in the comments, like, and it's like I could do I could punch every bar but it's like, I don't know. I like actually getting into some shit.
He likes actually rapping.
You always like to put a lot of yourself into everything you do.
I hella try to. You know what I'm saying? Especially in a culture that's like getting more away from that too.
Yeah.
It's like you just gotta be like
formulaic,
entertaining. You like you just gotta like.
Well, like Tantrum was saying, it's like that's like you find someone like Ilmac who will do exactly that dangerous thing of like do this long ass setup and then it has this huge payoff at the end, and then it's like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna try and copy that. Like I want to figure out a way to do that because that works.
On that as the listener from Ilmac too. Like when Ilmac shows up, and like he's gonna get in this good rant that you want to hear the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all the rap shit that he does in between is fucking great. And it's like we depend on Ilmac to give us the big payoff.
But yeah, it's like that comedian.
Always does.
It's like that comedian that is, it's like the Dave Chappelle or the Kid Rock, where you're like, I'm willing to sit here and listen to this, and I'm gonna give you more attention, and I'm gonna give you more slack because I know your payoffs are better. You know what I mean? And that's just a risk as a comedian you can't take, as a battler you can't take in the beginning until you earn that respect of being like, I'm this guy. Is like, wait, just fucking wait. You're gonna get what you want. You know what I mean? It's like you come into a fucking room and nobody knows you, and you pull that shit.
I mean,
it's,
honestly,
it's hard.
I'll-
It's
yeah,
harder.
Shit, to bring it full circle, maybe fucking quality's going down because fucking we're just waiting for that boomerang to come around to where, you know, maybe we're all just collectively getting to that point of, hey, we're the ones we've been waiting for type shit.
I hope so.
Too much information.
I hope so.
Too much access to information. Too many people have too much access to too
Yeah,
much shit.
true.
People like me and Tantrum, we couldn't watch battles. They weren't even on the internet. You battled Rukasaki at a car show, and then you remember it forever.
I told you I ran into Reed Richards. You know Reed Richards, who like
Yeah.
From Double Season.
Yeah, fucking. I ran into him fucking at like a coffee shop in the financial district, like, and like it didn't sound like him. Like I could hear a dude talking. I looked at him and I'm like, that guy looked exactly like Reed Richards. I went about my thing and he just had a very financial district like outfit on. He had like the cream color like shawl, cable knit cardigan. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, and I'm like, dang, dude. Like I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, he's one of them guys. Like,
That's that's life.
But shit, what were we gonna say, Tantrum? And we'll wrap it up on this too, because it's hot as a motherfucker.
I was gonna say,
in here. We need to turn
number
our fans and
one,
shit.
like your the whole thing about back then, like we couldn't watch the battles and shit. And I just wanted to bring up the fact that there was a battle where he battled Oroku Saki, him dressed as Dog the Bounty Hunter, and Oroku Saki dressed as Oroku. Was he dressed
My
as Oroku
wife
Saki?
was there back when she used to go to battles dressed as Beth.
Yo!
Hella accurate Beth.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons my dog costume was fire, because I had a hella accurate Beth with me.
Yeah.
She had like huge ass balloons in her tits, so they looked like they were massive. It was fucking hilarious. But
Was he dressed as Oroku Saki?
No, Arukasaki was.
Oh no, he was dressed as
Shredder.
Zanzibar. He was dressed
Zanzibar.
as
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so like
Fuck.
you and sadly you're never gonna see that.
You're never gonna
'Cause
see
it's
it.
It wasn't recorded.
No, it wasn't recorded.
Oh,
or the fucking when I won the freestyle Olympics, like just fucking did all this shit that night, boy. I was like, oh, this is the best, and they were filming it, but the footage just never fucking.
You know
came
what?
out.
It actually might be on YouTube now.
Freestyle Olympics
Or the Zanzibar versus. I remember being there.
That's the one they got. They
I
don't
was
got me
actually
beating
there.
Pete in a tempo round, or they don't got me like beating all the best rappers in
Yeah.
the Bay Area to
Hey.
be crowned the fucking freestyle champion of that year or whatever.
and
Nope,
and
they
they
got me
didn't-
dressed like Dog.
Well, and they also didn't have Topper fucking dominating fucking everybody back in his era.
Yes.
Which preceded your era.
Or Conceit winning the freestyle Olympics, who is like a guy who just like dropped off the map and nobody ever fucking seen him again.
Yeah.
And he was a guy who was like as good, if not better, than any of us. Showed up, beat us all one day, and within a year was just fucking gone.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's so much shit from the era that me and Tantrum came up in. We were like he said, when like Topper was killing everybody and we were just like
That was
kids
before
at
my
those
time,
events.
yeah.
When I was like the kid at the event, you know what I mean? Or when we were like doing Battle Lab in San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, a lot of us like you can name a lot of battlers, your favorite dudes. Like, oh, like you want to see Peanut versus.
Oh, man,
like,
Peanut.
Peanut battled everybody, homie. Like, hey,
Peanut was
Peanut
deeper.
versus Franco in the gym in the basketball gym.
Yeah,
bro, all
yeah.
that shit.
When Peanut used to wear the arm wristband too.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, boy. In general, though, like, I think
yeah, man, this battle shit runs super deep. Like motherfuckers, like I bet people probably barely even remember that we battled in bots. But even before that, like we battled numerous times.
No, 100%. Me and Tantrum had done so many freestyle battles that there was a context for us battling in bots.
So when he used the line in bots, that Panda Express line,
It was like a joke between us.
and it's like I use this on you every time, and it works every fucking time. And so that was the fucking funny ass
I
part
think you
about
told
it.
him too, like if you wanted an Asian bitch to yell at you, you would have walked in the
Oh,
house
so
without
your
your
shoes
shoes
Yeah, without
on.
your shoes.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Wow.
I'm pretty
that
sure
was
he might
great.
he might have used that a variation of that when he freestyled
Homie,
against me too.
every bar I've ever used in a battle was a more like complicated and complex version of like everything I'd ever freestyled to ever. And it was a joke between us. Like I would always do the thing where I would like battle Tantrum and I'd be like, hey, you won, but I'm gonna win right now. Watch this shit. And like, you know what I mean? Or like just
No,
No,
dumb
there was one time at Tourette's, we battled at Tourette's, and like I think supposedly like we decided between each other, like, yeah, man, you got that. And then, but the crowd, there's random judges at Tourette's that like they happen to vote for this guy.
I'm like, Tantrum wins. Tantrum wins. They're like, Dirtbag Dan wins. I'm like, I guess I won.
Yeah. So he comes and shakes my hand after he gets announced the winner. He's like, hey, yo, you totally got that, but I'm damn sure, Glenn, I fucking won because he would later win the prize money that night. Because he was like, he won $100. I was like, fucking whatever, man. Like, it was hella funny. But like,
I bought drinks, but Tantrum don't drink. What a shitty thing.
But fun fact, when I battled him at Bots, like just a trivial
super fucking fun.
I was in the building, by the way.
You were in the building for that.
Classic.
Fun trivial fact. Like in my second round, like I was going off a scheme. Like you know where I ended up behind you doing a little elbow move and shit. Yes. I was going off some action fucking scheme, and like I left out like probably 6 to 8 bars of that scheme for some reason. I don't know why. Like my mind just skipped it.
Yeah.
So by the time I finished my round, I had like another 30 fucking seconds extra. So I was like, fuck. I had another extra round I didn't use. I was like, I'm just gonna go a little bit into this round.
Your other round
to take up a little time, so it doesn't look like I was too super short or anything like that. And it's like, looking back on it, like there are certain rounds like when I look back on my battles, like we would have some extra rounds sometimes, and it's like,
oh man,
and like
grind time days when you had OTs,
yeah,
you had to have extra rounds.
Well, not even that. Even later than that, even in the King of the Dot Bots era, even after grind time, like sometimes I would.
Oh, you're talking about like tactic rounds, like if this fool says this, I'm gonna have this.
Or,
like I have this whole round
or just had like against only one I had 2 fucking. I had 4 rounds, but I only ended up using 3. And against you, I had a whole extra round I didn't ended up using. And the thing is, like, when I look back on it, I was like, fuck, I should have just used this round instead of the one I actually used. Because like, I could have just done fucking. It would have gotten better reaction or whatever. Because I know the approach you were going for was like you were just gonna go there, fucking punch and joke and get hella laughs and shit.
Yes.
And I knew, and that was kind of like the opposite of what my approach was.
AKA so, always like, my approach in every fucking battle.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like, that's crazy that you did that in that battle or that you ever did that, because you always seem like someone who had all your shit versus like Disaster, who'd be like, he spit me 3 rounds outside, we go inside and he'd do 3 different rounds. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Like, there's at least a whole round missing, gone.
That's crazy.
But this fool like would always appear to me to be very polished and be like, it didn't ever look like you were doing like, oh, forgot that. Like,
well, the thing is, like, if
fuck.
you knew your material, if you knew your extra material like well enough, you could just go into it and like, just, like instead of just choking, right? Instead of just fucking getting caught with your fucking pants down. Like,
I also like wasn't ever wasting a bar. Like I wrote OT rounds. Like I used all the bars I wrote, homie. It's like, is this good? I'm gonna use it.
So there was actually like there was a period of time where you were you kind of took a slightly different approach, because usually you're like your fun self you're fucking happy jokey Dan, right? But like against Old Blimey and against Mr. Biscuit, he was Ruthless Dan.
Ruthless Dan is the best on. That's always the best. That's why I realized for DNA, I was like, I got to be Ruthless Dan again. That's the only way to win.
But the thing is, like, before I battled him, I was like, damn, I hope he comes at me as Ruthless Dan. But he came at me as Jokey Dan.
Bro,
instead, man. Like,
homie, how could I possibly do that? I fucking love you way too much. You're like my actual friend. Oh, Blimey, specifically, who I also like considered a friend, and I only say with the ED because she never talked to me again after that battle, and I felt terrible because I did like I was like Tantrum said, like I was like, all right, you're gonna fucking get it now. She legit was the only person ever in battle rap that said something about my wife and made my wife feel bad. So, and I watched my wife. I was sitting there, and she said some shit about my wife. And I'm looking at my wife in the front row, and my wife's face, like, she can't hide emotions well. And I was like, oh my God, dude.
Like, oh, you're never coming here.
No. I was just like, okay, all the gloves are off now. Like, I just got in my head. I was like, I'm just gonna make you fucking feel this. And it was like, and I legit, like, I saw. I saw myself, like I fucking like came outside of myself and was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're screaming in this girl's face right now. Like it, and like by the end of it, I was like kind of had mellowed out a little more, but there was like a moment in like the second round where I was like fucking barking on her in a way that I like later realized, like, oh, I know why she's not friends with me anymore. I know exactly why. Like, it was like, not only was it like a dude, like someone barking on you, but it was like a man barking on a woman, and like, and I don't mean that in any kind of like demeaning way, but there's this like physical aspect to life where like I could fuck you up right now, and you know what I mean? It's like laws and all these different
Like people
logic
definitely
and
be real offended at it.
You know what I'm saying?
It looks
These
really
days.
aggressive.
It looks aggressive.
I mean, even at that timeline,
100%. It looked
it looks
aggressive in a
aggressive.
way that was like, I'm not that person. You know what I mean? But she hurt someone who I cared about in a way that no one had ever done before, and no one had ever done since.
Fuck.
My wife actually legit like stopped coming to events and never like wanted to come to events
Yeah,
after
don't
that
blame
again.
her.
She was there when we battled, though, right?
Because my wife like knew that Tantrum of all people isn't gonna talk shit about her, but like she like carried around this fear, and my wife is never someone who like got in the ring or like was around, or like she always just she never
was
wanted
there.
to be a part of the shit. She was there to support me, but never wanted to be on camera or in the fucking thing. So when like she was brought into it, and I seen how it affected her, it just turned me into a fucking dickhead. Now, Mr. Biscuit, I don't know why, I just was like, I'm gonna put the fucking Spurs to this. I don't know why. It was something like we were on tour and I got out. I was counting a lot of money. I was feeling like the fucking man.
Yeah, you
and
were
I was
touring.
like,
That's right.
oh, bro, dude, I wrote that with the help of EK over the course of like 3 days driving to the fucking event. Like, just like, like, and the best part about that battle was there was a whole, like, there was like 30 people there to see the battle. And then there was a club next door that was just like playing hip hop music. It was a bunch of thug ass motherfuckers. Colorado's gangsters, fuck.
Yeah.
Bro, I was just gonna say Dan adapts so well in those kind of things.
Oh yeah. I'm built for that shit.
Cause I was there in the parking lot for you and Tiger Ty for the jungle event, and the way that you tailored the shit for that crowd, everybody loved everything you said. And
I just was,
hit.
that to me is a more real environment and more what I'm used to. Because I grew up in house party battles where you'd be like, I better do good or I'm going to get my ass kicked kind of shit. So, like, to me, that was a more natural environment than, you know, like, oh, like Canadians, like, come on, get back on your bars. It's okay. Like, I'm like way more used to, like,
talk about
what
it.
he said in my voice. What?
So, specifically, like, those environments I always did better in, and I can't even remember what I was saying. What was I talking about?
Mr. Biscuit.
Okay, so Mr. Biscuit, there's a club next door. There's like 30 people there to see the battle. When we rolled up in the tour van, like people seen and shit, and the club next door, somebody ran over and was like, "Hey, these fools are here from California to battle." So everybody in that club walked over into the other room and watched the battle, and it was literally more people that walked in than were there to like see the battle and film. So like if it ever looked like I had home field advantage in Colorado, is because there was literally more people there that had like not come for a battle event and had never seen a battle than
Those are always the
people
best
that were
ones.
there for like a body bag battle event. And then I was, look at this motherfucker. Like, and it was like everyone was
it's like
like,
a Tourette's crowd at
I was
that
like,
point.
this white boy's crazy. Look at him. Like I was floating, and that like, so it's funny that you say that, because my last battle versus DNA was clearly like more of
The Ruthless Dan.
Ruthless
came back,
Dan.
yeah.
And I looked, when I was looking at like how I wanted to end my career, even though I'm lightweight ashamed of the way that I acted in the Oblimey battle. and I'm fucking, even though like, and I'm not, I'm like, I ain't making excuses like, it like, but it's like, okay, so I don't know how to feel about that though, because it's like, oh, what am I not supposed to bark on her because she's a woman? It's not like I was gonna fucking hurt her or whatever. We all like agreed to this thing and it's all good or whatever. But like somewhere in me, like I saw in her eyes that I had crossed a line, that I had like I don't want to say scared her, but I created a scenario that was naturally not good feeling. Like it was like
the cross the line thing. That's
just, but not like in a way like I wasn't like you fucking stupid bitch. I was barring out, but I was like just like in a aggressive, like in your face way that like maybe you don't need to do to a woman. You know what I mean? Like, and again, it was a reaction to something, but I'm not trying to make excuses. But like, DNA is a grown ass man. Mr. Biscuit was a grown ass man. I love that. It's one of my favorite battles. So like to me, to go out, I was like, that's how I want to go out. I want to go out like I want to be funny. I want to have jokes, but I want people to also know that like I was one of the fucking dudes. I'm not saying I was one of the best dudes, but I was one of the dudes. You know what I mean? So like, let it be known, DNA is one of the fucking dudes. Will always be one of the dudes. And if he's like a champ, like one of the guys that was like considered the greatest at one point in time, then I'll at least get to be one of the guys that put the spurs to a champ. You know what I mean? Like I'll get to be like, I might not be Ray Robinson of this shit, but I'm a Jake LaMotta, like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, and that to me is like, I could die and go out and never have to battle again on that note. That like, at least motherfuckers knew he could go in there with the best dudes in the world and fucking put up punches. That's it. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Yep.
I think that's a fucking. I don't even know where we probably just cap it right there.
Give me
to
some
be honest.
fucking lasagna. Fool.
Exactly.
Let me say one last thing about that, because like the position you were in with that, with like you being the one that put the spurs to the champ and shit.
Yeah.
That's low key what my position was when I was battling you. Because it's like, imagine battling Dan in San Jose.
No, for real.
Imagine that. Imagine doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Thunderhut people, they're on some like SONS shit, you know.
Oh no, I would say this.
XI, like that. Everybody was really like if they're on your team while you're battling, like they're fucking. They're like,
I hope that you recognize that, like in the process of that and throughout everything, not only because you're my friend, but because I fucking respected the fact that you were the first person to step up and do that and like help me have a channel and have a league. And like one of the only reasons that bots existed is because
we stole it from VoiceBox.
100%. And it was like legit. Like the only dude who was down to like get in there with me and battle me at home that had enough of a name for it to be fucking worth it for people to come out was Tantrum. So even to this day, when I throw an event, I'll call Tantrum or I'll fucking shoot him a message on Facebook and be like, hey bro, it's that annual time of year where I ask you to battle and you say no, and he'll be like, yeah.
Hey, please keep asking him to battle.
I always will.
Do you know how that happened?
I'm trying to help.
Do y'all know how that happened? And bots, like, he was actually like trying to book himself like someone else. Like, so I need to book someone else for the headline match, and I don't know, like everybody's following through. And then he talked to me and was like, "Fuck it, why don't we battle?"
Yes.
And I'm like, and at that point, Dan was like my biggest high profile name yet. So like in a way, it was kind of like him like giving me that look. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, much appreciated for that.
Whatever, man. Like you to me, like at the moment
like
you, but you and like I said, like you guys had already established that you were your own fucking people, that you had value and that you had carried a name, especially after the fucking Dumbfounded battle. There was like no, like I could put myself on a card with you and no one would be like, what's this? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's tight. That's two dudes from here who've been battling, who've had freestyle battles, who are friends. I want to go see that shit. And Tantrum was the first person that ever fucking like agreed to do that and like allowed me the opportunity to kind of like have my own league, because before it was VoiceBox, and that was the first event that was BOTZ battles that happened on my channel. And like, so a lot of history fucking me and this dude, but in general, like a lot of like battle history between us. Even fucking Frank was there for almost all this shit too.
Like, he was there for the dumb battle, right?
A lot of fucking
Mosswood Park in Oakland,
a lot of fucking history between the folks. So that's good shit, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Murderverse Radio, you raggedy bitch.
You raggedy fucking bitch.
Come get dinner.
Twist up a wood, sipping good, now we piped up. Bitch way, she get piped up. Glock in the stash for the cash, yeah, the pipe buzz. They ain't like us, bitch, we piped up.
Pipe up, bitch, pipe down, this is my town. Ain't nobody fucking with the king, this is my crown. If you looking for a title shot, it's gonna be 5 rounds. I ain't talking about up in the ring, I'm talking 5 rounds. Now he lying down, 40 got him ironed out. What the fuck you crying about? Hit the plug, pull up with that exclusive, then we buy him out. Shorty pulling up in something sporty, then we ride now.
Rollie, I bust down, yo bitch, I bust down. In the bank dancing like I scored a fucking touchdown. Hunts on, bitch, I transform when the sun's down. Loose lips, got me in your mix like what's up now. Fuck that, through your window like I'm bruh man. Keys to your safe round now, where them funds at? Tug straps, got the trunk looking like a gun rack. Gas sound like tractor starting like your fucking pump flat.
Pump, put your head where your pump's at.
Big barrel pointed at your top like a dunce cat.
Where your guns at? Fuck around and let them guns clap.
Keep a 40 in my dirty stacks up in a lunch bag, huh?
Creep it up slow with no clue what I'm doing, cause creep it up slow with no clue what I'm doing, cause creep it up slow with no clue what I'm doing, cause killers and dealers go with the capillars, we're spilling it, reeling 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 it.
Wristwatch looking like the skyline on Krypton. Big Glock, hit your body, knock a couple ribs off. Chevy candy painted like I hit it with some lip gloss. Trunk wide swinging like Nicki on a pit boss.
Get your shit tossed from your bitch crib. Call you while I'm fucking talking about what this dick did. Baby girl addicted, she be off prescription. Ain't no silverware up in the kitchen, and the TV missing.
Fingers rip the paper cause the grain's sticky. I'm a knucklehead baby plus the team shifty. Only dumb motherfuckers wanna swing with me. Put paws on the bitch like Eve's titties.
Yeah, Smith & Wesson get protection if the bitch is stressing. Go on, get the weapon then. Go on, homie, bless him then. Caught up in the system, you a con and you flexing cause you gone. Take an L before you gone, take a sentence.
Run my chopper let loose, knock a motherfucker's face off.
So much powder flowing through the kitchen on the cake boss.
Dome in the backseat, puffing on a straight chop.
At your wake tossed with a model bitch like Kate Moss.
It's coming through, get out of my fucking way, Trace. It's coming through, get out of my fucking way, Trace. It's coming through, get out of my fucking way, Trace. It's coming through, get out of my fucking way.
Twist up a wood, sipping good, now we piped up. Bitch wanna throw my way, she get piped up. Glock in the stash for the cash, get a pipe buzz. They ain't like us, bitch, we piped up. Twist up a wood, sipping good, now we piped up. Bitch wanna throw my way, she get piped up. Glock in the stash for the cash, get a pipe